This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield.
Put them numbers to your numbers and make them numbers go up.
No.
What do you mean no?
It wouldn't work.
And co-host Marnie Winfield.
That's why they say you're transferring $1,000 USD. US dollars.
Oh, yeah, that is true. It is the 8th of November, 2022. My name's Corey Winfield, and Marnie she's off today. Give her the day off. Last two Tuesdays, we've been doing the show on Discord, but today I have a special guest in studio. Welcome, Justin Burke. Justin, how are you doing?
Great. How are you doing, Mr. Winfield?
I'm not doing. I've had better days. I've had worse days. Going for the colonoscopy.
Nice.
I know, a couple days, and so I'm excited about that. And then today my back starts hurting, and the doctor called and said, "Oh, we're going to be looking at some other stuff too." And I might as well, right, while you're in there. So, but I've been really super hungover and drunk before in my life. That was way worse than today. Like, I would rather do this day over and over and over and over and over than do one day of drinking and being hungover or drugs or whatever. So, can't complain.
For sure. I feel that.
Yeah. So, I do want to talk with you today about excuses. Just like a-holes.
Yeah, everybody's got one.
Everybody's got one. You know, transition right from colonoscopy to excuses. Because we're going to see the Detroit Lions.
Nice. I can't wait.
I know you're going, right?
Yeah, I'm going.
Okay, I was kind of like, where are we going?
Me and the fiance.
Nice. Yeah, the Lions gave us tickets because we're a nonprofit and they like what we do and they want to see us helping people in early recovery. We want to show them that you can have fun. You can go to events and places and not drink or use drugs or anything like that. So we kind of want to show them.
That's what's up. You know what I'm saying?
That is great. So we're going to go. So I was talking with Adam from Addiction Treatment Services, and he's like, yeah, man, we'll get there and tailgate. And I was like, man, I don't know if we should tailgate. He's like, why? And I was like, well, I mean, I'm fine with it. You would be fine with it. Marnie would be fine with it. Your fiance would be fine with it. Adam would be fine with it. Adam's girlfriend would be fine with it. But what if somebody isn't? Like, put them in those situations. So I'm like, maybe not. But we're still thinking about that up in the air. But when they're at the game, they're going to have opportunities, to walk past the beer thing. And I'm not their babysitter.
True that.
But we are planning a sober trip. We'll make it clear, like, hey, guys, and ladies, this is what's going on. And, we're all in early recovery. That's why we're taking you. But ultimately, it's on them.
That's right. Personal accountability buddies.
Mm-hmm. And I used to blame everybody else. When I would drink, I would blame everybody else. Even, well, this is too hard or that's too frustrating. I'm paying my electric bill pisses me off. I hate it when they shut it off. Oh, I'm going to drink. Oh, my mom said this and did this. Well, I'm going to drink to show her. It was always somebody else's fault. And there's a guy I know, a few people I know that are in and out of treatment, which, hey, I'm not saying anything bad about that at all. I was the king of leaving early, the king of relapse. I went 15 times, it takes what it takes. But you got to learn something every time, hopefully. But sometimes I see these people and they're not really learning stuff. And then they call me when they're out and they're like, and then they're getting all drunk. I'm like, why would you even call me like that? I don't like talking with drunk people. But then it's always an excuse. And it's, oh, well, yeah, everything was going fine until my girlfriend did this. And I'm like, how did she make you drink? And like a therapist told me once when I was blaming my mom, he's like, whoa. And he was a smart ass. It was pretty funny. You would have loved him. He's like, oh, your mom made you drink? And I was like, yeah. He's like, man, that's not cool. I was like, thank you. I thought he was on Team Corey here. I was like, yeah, man. So I'm like throwing my pity party. Yeah, well, she wouldn't have done that. Then, he's like, oh man, I can't believe that. So what'd she do, man? She threw you downstairs in the basement or something? I was like, no, she said this and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, but you said she made you drink, that she tie you up and then she had a funnel in your mouth and poured it down your throat. I was like, no, I said it again, this is what happened. Oh, So she didn't make you drink then. Oh, smart ass. Okay. He's like, if she would have done that stuff, then she would have made you drink. Then I'd have been like, oh, okay. You got it. It's not your fault, buddy. But he's like, she didn't make you drink. She did not pour anything down your throat. Like you did it yourself. And that's when he started telling me about the protective shield that I put around the bottle, and I was like, oh. I started thinking about what he was saying, and it all made sense. Like I did. I didn't even know I was doing it, and it's dangerous when you do that. And taking accountability is so hard at first, to look in the mirror and go, well, you did it. And there's some times we get mad at ourselves, like, oh man, I'm so stupid. Oh, I deserve to be miserable, But it really was nobody else's fault. So like these people that I see keep coming back, and then I talk to them after or whatever, and then they're still spitting the same stuff, and it's just like, man, I don't really feel like it's my place to say something to them. I'm not their therapist, I'm just a dude,
Right.
But I don't know, like if somebody out there has a family member and they're still playing the blame game, I don't know what to tell you either, to how to tell them to deal with this person, because was a guy that called me a couple weeks ago, and it kind of was the same thing. And I just wanted to tell him, bro, like, first of all, treatment places don't fix you. You got to fix yourself. They'll give you the tools. Great place to go hit the reset button. But you got to do it yourself. And part of that is looking inward and seeing what role you have in it. But if you go to somebody who's not ready to look inward or to accept that, I think that could be kind of dangerous. If I came to you and said, Justin, if you're using or whatever in your using days, Justin, man, you got to stop blaming everybody else. You got to look in the mirror and see what role you had in this. That I think would build resentments.
Oh, for sure. I would have probably hated you.
Yeah. Oh, F Corey thinks better than everybody else. Can tell me what to do.
Oh, I did that with everybody that told me I had a problem, because to me, I didn't have a problem.
Yeah. Well, first of all, let's look at Justin, or you'd be like, let's look at Corey. Yeah. Oh, maybe if he wouldn't eat so much damn ice cream, maybe his back wouldn't hurt.
Right.
Wouldn't do all the anal stuff. Maybe he wouldn't be, or wait.
What are you talking about?
What? I don't know. I was just on one.
Are you admitting to something?
No.
Man, shh.
No, I'm hitting the drops. I'm drop happy today, apparently. But no, like, anyway, back to what we were saying. It would create resentment, and you would throw it back at me, like, well, look at him. He's not perfect, or whatever you would say.
Right. I went through the same thing. I always never looked at my own addiction, but, I'd look at my mom, because my mom would drink all the time, right? And I always told all my friends and family, my mom's got this horrible drinking problem. My mom's got this horrible drinking problem. But I never looked in the mirror and looked at my own self and looked at what I was doing, or maybe even looked at the pain I was causing my mom at the same time, and looked at what I was doing to fuel her addiction, and it just didn't even really dawn on me until now, to even put two or two together like that, I was just talking to her before I came here today. I actually had to let her go to try to call you back. Anyways, and she was telling me about how proud she was of me and how I've moved away and become quite successful at life. She actually came up here and was at my apartment this past weekend, which is surprisingly nice. She got to see my daughter again. Just trying to take that initial step in my recovery yet again. And just trying to let the past be the past. And I told her that, we need to let the past be the past and be able to move forward. And so we can have a healthy relationship with one another and not throw each other's addictions in our face, because we both have a problem with addiction, whether she wants to admit it or not, but we both do. We both use. I'm sustained now. My daughter told me that she was so happy. She was like, Dad, she was like, Graham didn't drink while I was there. She was so ecstatic to tell me that when she came back home after my mom had left. And I was like, and I had to tell her, I'm like, I'm glad she didn't drink while you were there. because deep down inside, I was just down there like a week prior or something like that. And I could see the case of empty beer cans sitting there in her house, which it's her house. She's allowed to do what she wants. But at the end of the day, I know I have to still have that guard up, because she still actively drinks, but she's an adult. She's allowed to do whatever she wants to do.
Right.
But, it's just nice to be able to have that friendship again. But it's that excuses, to go back to the excuses, I always made an excuse why it was everyone else's problem, but my own. I never had a drug addiction until I was 33 years old and landed myself in jail. Until it came out that I actually had a problem in the newspaper. Oh, Justin was busted with methamphetamines less than 25 grams. Attempted B&E with intent. Until I absolutely had to explain myself, I never had a problem. And then the excuses had to stop. And then I had to admit to what I was doing wrong.
It's hard to look in the mirror, man. It's hard to, especially when we're wrong. And I don't know if it's our ego or alter ego that it puts up that facade for us so that we feel better about ourselves. And instead, deep down, we know something was probably wrong. Yeah. But we didn't want to look at it. Everybody else was doing it too.
I think it's more pride than anything else. The pride, and then what follows after we hurt our pride, the shame and the guilt that follows.
Yeah. But it shouldn't be like today. I'm not ashamed of who I am, and like you told your mom, we got to leave the past in the past. You really do. You can't change it. So just moving forward, and with your mom, that's great that she's around your daughter and she's sober, and you can say, Mom, these are the boundaries, like you can't drink when daughter's over there, and if you do, that's fine. Just let me know so I'll come get her. And she'll kind of have a choice, like, okay, well, what do I do? Do I just wait or do I not drink? And maybe that's what she needs in her life too. Like we isolate ourselves when we drink and use, and then we realize that it's not very fun. And we feel lonely, so we just continue to drink and use. But to kind of get that connection back, with family and friends, that helps people get over a lot of things too. So I think that's good. But yeah, definitely, I'd set some boundaries with her and just kind of run from it, or run with it, not run from it.
Right. And the funny part was, I didn't have to really set any boundaries. They've already been kind of set. And she knows, and my daughter's old enough, and she was actually happy. My daughter's 12, so what comes with a 12-year-old girl, and my daughter was all proud of it, and so my mom was like, what your daughter told me, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, Mom, I know. My daughter's got her friend finally showed up. Let's just be friendly about it. Her friend showed up. So
love. Thanks, Dad.
Puberty, and so she was telling my mom all about it like it just happened, and I told my mom, I'm like, no, it happened actually at the beginning of summer, and here I am to have to talk about it. It's kind of like,
Man,
it's just kind of like one of those weird feelings, and so it's back to one of those things, your question, have you ever had to buy female tampons, Yeah, besides for a fiance that I'm with, yeah, now it's like, now I got a 12-year-old daughter, yeah, so now I'm in the store, not only am I in there with my fiance, now I'm in there with my 12-year-old daughter, like, well, which ones do you use, and then I've got women standing around me like, you creep, like, what are you standing here doing? Like, she's my daughter, like, come on now. Like, I'm not trying to do anything goofy or shady. Like, it is what it is, I'm just trying to be a good dad.
So did you have to do the whole sex talk with her then?
Actually, April did a little bit of that for me. I just don't feel comfortable, It's just one of those things. I've never really felt comfortable. I didn't even feel, honestly, Corey, I never felt comfortable even giving my own daughter a bath just because of all the controversy in today's day and age, of...
Or she wants to be a boy.
Well, not even just that.
Wants to be a dog.
Of fathers touching their children inappropriately, blah 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 blah. It was said when I was younger that I was molested by my own father. You know, I was made to sit in my living room when I was like 3, made to sit there, watch porn and play with myself. You know, it's what my father did to me, you know, and just because of what my past has done to me and my trauma.
That makes sense.
You know, I felt leery giving my own daughter a bath.
Yeah.
That I didn't even want someone doing that. And when my daughter was little, me and my mom actually lived in the same apartment complex. And I'd actually take my daughter over to my mom's house to make my mom give my daughter a bath. I'm like, no, Mom, I refuse. I'm not doing this. She's like, Justin, you got to get over this fear, this phobia that you have. She's your daughter. You know, no one's, it's in your own home. You have to get over it.
Yeah, that's trauma, though. I mean, but you don't just get over it, you know.
Like you just said, it's trauma, you know. You can't.
Like, it makes sense that you would have somebody else.
And still to this day, like even like taking her into like a bathroom, you know, like I didn't enjoy taking her out into like public places for the longest time just by myself, just because, well, what am I supposed to do when she had to use the bathroom? Take her into a men's restroom? Because I can't go into a female's bathroom. So am I supposed to send her in alone to a female's bathroom? You know, so there's that controversy. You know, so I didn't enjoy taking her out in like necessarily public places. So I'd take her out fishing, take her out doing things that I enjoyed doing, you know, not necessarily. So my daughter's like a little tomboy pretty much. But, you know, I mean, she knows how to use the bathroom in the woods. I mean, just saying, you know, I mean, but those were some phobias that I had to deal with, you know.
Okay. So,
as we bring up excuses, but they're not really excuses, but
that's some trauma based stuff, man. I totally get it. It makes sense now, you know. For someone who went through that with what you went through, it probably would be very traumatic to now be stuck in that situation. You're like, oh no.
And that's some of the trauma that kept me using.
It saved you out of wiping a lot of ass, probably.
Yeah, I didn't feel comfortable changing her diaper, really. I had to get over that real quick.
Well, I think girls are smarter than boys because, like, I remember my little brother when he was like 16, he was still like bending over, come wipe my butt. Not really 16. Just you look at me like, oh my god. No, I don't know, but he was old, like 4 or 5 or something, and he'd be just like, wipe my butt, and I'm like, I'm not wiping your butt, bro. You're too old.
Right.
My sister, like, I think she was fully potty trained before my little brother was, and she's like 2 or 3 years younger. So
she grasped potty training pretty easy. But you know, whoever my girlfriend was at the time, you know, I always told him, you know, anytime you gotta go use the bathroom, please take her with you. I know it sounds awkward, but show her how to use the bathroom.
Right.
You know, if you know parents that don't take their kids, I know it sounds really messed up, but when kids don't know how to use the bathroom, when parents just go to the bathroom and they don't take their kids with them, how do they ever expect to potty train their kids? You know, oh, well, mom's got to go pee. Well, how do they ever expect to know? You know, we have to teach them.
Especially the little boys. I think they want to wipe and run. Like, whoa, make sure that's all good back there, buddy. Like,
right.
You gotta.
I mean, I didn't have the pleasure with my son, but with my daughter, I did. You know, I mean, it was fun. It was a really fun experience. As much as I wish I could have another one, I almost 50-50.
Yeah.
But me and April's talked about it though. But
you'll be a grandpa soon. Don't worry.
Yeah.
See, grandkids I heard are the best.
That's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah. I mean, you'll be waiting still, but that's good. It's a good wait. You know,
yeah.
8 years, 10 years, it'll be here before you know it.
Yep.
And you'll be my age, all old, decrepit. Like, damn, Corey was right. It's getting old for the birds. But back to our excuses talk, though. So, yeah, so we're going to go to the Lions game. And, you know, we're not really babysitters. And if someone wants to go to the Lions game and then decides they're going to get drunk and then oh, well, it's 217 Recovery's fault because they took me to a Lions game and I'm like, flip them the bird. Like,
be
you
right there
are a
with you.
grown ass man or a woman. You chose to do this. And, oh, but I'm an addict, bro, and you should never take me to. No, I'm not. No, you are a grown ass man. You made your bed. Now lay on it. Look in the mirror and let's talk about who really did something bad. But I don't think the people that we're going to take, I really don't think that. But there was a situation kind of similar where that kind of happened, and dude was like trying to blame everybody else for it. And it's like, man, I'm so glad I'm not in that spot no more. You know, I'm so glad I'm not in that place where, oh man, I'm trying to think of like probably 2017, 2018, maybe last time that I was blaming people. And then I started kind of taking a little bit of ownership over it, you know, because then I was like, well, it's my feelings, it's my emotions. That's what gets me to drink, you know. And it's like, okay, now we're getting a little closer, you know, a little closer to the actual, like, what's going on and in the brain. And then you just realize, like, well, that's how I handled every situation. So I would use, you know. So that would make sense that I would use when I'm feeling a certain kind of way. So how do we not feel that way? Oh, well, okay. Sometimes you just feel that way and you just have to just live with it. You don't have to chase something else just to get rid of that feeling anymore. Sometimes you are depressed. Sometimes you are sad. Sometimes, you know, you think you're angry, but then you start peeling back. Okay, why am I angry? What am I really feeling? Are you feeling betrayed? Are you feeling hurt? And then you start breaking that down. Okay, well, why am I feeling hurt? Well, because so-and-so did this and that. And another guy was like, hey, I'm thinking about getting this dude out, you know, and I was going to give him some bail or something, you know. And it's like, be careful with that. Oh, no, I'm prepared to lose it because, you know, like, don't give people money. Oh, no. Especially if they're like, can I borrow? It's not a borrow. You're not going to ever see that money again.
You're giving it away too.
Yeah. And this guy was like, no, it's fine. I'm good with it. I'm just in that pretext. I'm giving it away. Okay. But are you prepared for how that's really going to make you feel? You put up someone's bond and then 2 days later they're out drinking back in jail. How's that? You're gonna feel like they disrespected you. It's not about the money. Okay, yeah, good. You can lose the money. Are you prepared to handle that disrespect?
No, that'll probably trigger you.
Yeah.
Early in recovery, it's going to trigger you.
I've seen it do that same exact thing to somebody, and so I told him, I was like, be careful. And I hope he understood what I was telling him. You know, it wasn't about the money. Like, yeah, the money, you shouldn't do it. First of all, because you're going to lose it. But second, are you prepared for those other feelings that you're not going to see coming? You know, like I did that for him and this is what he did, you know, and they say no good deed goes unpunished.
Right.
You know, there was a time where I did something like that. I was trying to help a friend out and he was like, oh, you saved some money for me? I was like, sure. And then he started lying to me about why he needed it back. And I'm like, and I told him, I was like, right up front, bro, this is your money. You asked me for it. I'm giving it to you. Oh, but then I'm like, why is he lying to me about it? And then I started feeling some kind of way. So I'm like, here you go. And then like later he's like, will you hold my money again? I said, no. Because I have started feeling some kind of way over trying to do you a favor.
Yeah.
And it's easy to get trapped in that. And then you are stuck feeling some kind of way. And it's like, wait a minute. My day was going great. You know, why did I get involved in somebody else's problem?
I feel that same way right now with a certain individual.
Yeah. There's a fine line between helping somebody and kind of putting yourself out there in a situation that you don't need to be in.
Yeah.
You know, and it's tough when it's family.
Oh, it's really tough when it's family.
But at the end of the day, they're not ready. They're not ready.
Yeah, that's right.
And sometimes that's where they need to be. You know, we're not Superman. We're not heroes. Nothing like that.
No.
We're just a couple guys in early recovery trying to do the right thing for us, you know, and for our families and for ourselves. And yeah, we like helping people. We like doing that service work. That's what we do. You know, that's what keeps us sober. But putting yourself in situations that you don't belong in can really kind of screw yourself more than what you think. And you think you're helping. You think you're, oh, no, I'm doing this because, you know, I'm giving back. Well, are you? You know, like just be careful with those situations. I don't know if you want to talk about your situation. Probably not.
Just with my brother, you know, relapsed, went back to jail. You know, do I really keep helping him? Do I send him commissary money this time, like I did the last time he was in jail? Or do I let him ride it out and make his stay really rough? Because honestly, you're given 3 meals a day. I mean, you're provided everything you needed while you're in there.
Yeah.
Should I really make him feel what bottom's really like? I mean, I tried showing him what the good life was about. I mean, I tried giving him a free place to live. I mean, I offered him a free place to live. You know, I told him I could get you a job up here in Traverse City, working in recovery. He didn't want to take it. You know, I mean, I tried doing everything I could, but at the end of the day, it comes down to excuses. He made up an excuse for every reason why he couldn't do something. Oh, I have an animal. I have this. I have that. I can't leave everything behind. I have too much stuff. Blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, when we know what we have to do, when we have to do it, we just have to do it. It doesn't matter what we have to give up. If it matters life or death, and that's what addiction is, it's life or death. But he wasn't ready to give up. And I wasn't ready to see that yet. But maybe this time around he is ready to give it up. Maybe not. But this time around, I'm not going to be there every time he needs $10. Be like, well, here you go. Here's the $10 that you need. Here's $10 to pay your fines. It's going to be like, oh, you don't have money to pay your fines? I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you need to go sit back in jail if you don't have money to pay your fines.
Oh, it's Justin's fault because Justin didn't help me with my fines.
No, it's not my fault this time.
It's not Justin's job to help you with your fines. Did the judge say have your brother help you and pay all your fines? No.
I mean, I tried that the last time he was out, and I feel like I got slapped in the face. I battled depression over it, all because of his excuses. I finally told my mom today, you know, it's when loved ones go to jail, you know, it hurts us just as much as it hurts them, you know. They don't realize how much we call and talk to them every day to help us, especially when we're in recovery, you know.
Mm-hmm.
How much it does help us, how much it does benefit us. And it really did benefit me. I mean, I talk to him 2-3 times a week, faithfully, you know. I mean, I drive up to Antrim County to go talk to inmates two times a week. So I think about them at least twice a week. So it's heavy on my mind all the time. And so it really bothers me. Some days it really eats at me, and sometimes it doesn't. But I don't try to sit back and make excuses for it like he did. It's just the truth behind the matter, you know, and he sits in there and he tries to make excuses. Well, you know, I can't find work if I don't hang out with felons. I got violated for hanging out with felons. You were offered an out. You were offered an out so that way you weren't hanging out with these people. But you made an excuse. So I can't feel bad. And it's just, and I got to try to explain that to my mom. So that way, you know, she doesn't keep just throwing things at him this time.
But Justin, he's a bank robber. That's what he does. He robs banks. He has to hang out with felons so he can find work.
but it's not the case.
But he's not he's not a bank robber. You know, just
right.
Like my mom didn't tie me up in the basement. Yeah, there are other jobs he can get. He just doesn't want them. He wants to be hanging out with those people.
Yeah, and that's what I kind of told my mom, you know. And then my mom didn't even realize how much I offered or tried helping him.
Oh,
and then
he left that part out, didn't he?
Well, yeah, you know, and then she's like, you know, I'm helping him just as much. And then she's like, and then I'm piecing two and two together, and it's like, his relapse happened months ago. And then it's like, it's finally just starting to add up, you know, and I'm just...
So you feel deceived?
Very deceived, you know, and it's
used,
just like, used.
Hurt.
Yeah. everything that we've done to everybody else, and it's finally happened to me, and it's like, fuck.
It comes around, goes around.
Right.
It sucks being on the side of it, though.
It does.
So now we get a little taste of our own medicine,
Yeah.
and the only thing you can do about it is see the red flags in the future. Like there was a relationship I was in, it was really bad. I shouldn't have been in it. And I ignored every red flag. And then at the end, I felt hurt, betrayed, all those same things. And when I sat and I thought about it, it's like, well, what can I do? Nothing. I can't do anything about it. It's over. It happened. But I can see red flags in the future and not walk down that same road. And I did that in another relationship. And I was like, no, I'm going to be treated like the way I treat somebody. And if I'm not treated that same way, I'm bouncing. Done. I don't care if you're hot, if whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm bouncing. And, I gave you that advice too before, because it really worked for me. And then I found Marnie, and Marnie treats me like probably better than I treat her, but we treat each other well. And there's a lot of respect there. So that's what I'm saying. Like if you can find that in somebody. But with family members, it's tough, man, but you can't change it. You can't take it back. You were lied to. Yep. Well, what can you do about it now? See them red flags,
Yep.
And don't walk into the bear trap pretty much, just, nope, not my business. What I need is this. Cause then you got to figure it out, man.
Yeah.
Like not helping you no more. Cause last time I did, you don't even need to bring it up, but you can, you just like, nope, that well's dry, bro.
No.
No,
it's a simple sentence.
Yeah. Yeah, but I wanted to. No. Is there something else you want to talk about? Okay, I got to go, man. See ya. Because, and he'll run out of options. I say that a lot. People will keep using, and everything's somebody else's fault or some situation. There's some excuse that's probably sometimes over the top. But you just have to like kind of wade through all that and just realize at the end of it, like, nah, he still got options, or she still has options, or whoever. And when they run out of options, that's when they'll finally go, okay, well, maybe I do need some help. Maybe I will finally get some help. But as long as there's options, man, they're gonna using is number one. It's taking the brain over. So that tells them, for me, it was alcohol. Like I needed the alcohol. I needed to have a way out. And then I would get like 3 months. I would go like a month, sometimes a couple months, but I would always turn right back to it because I'm like, hey, well, I'm doing good. I'm doing better. I'd start making excuses for myself of why I deserve to use. And I figure, now that I have been doing good, maybe they will help me out again. And I've heard people say, oh, well, relapse is part of recovery and blah, blah, blah. And that I did lean on that as a crutch. Well, if I do relapse, that people say it's part of recovery, so I can always use that. Which relapse is not part of recovery. Relapse is part of addiction.
Right.
So just, clear that up with them if they start using that. Yeah, but, so-and-so at the rehab said, man, like relapse is part of recovery. No, relapse is part of addiction. Kind of explain that to them, then tell them to do some reading. But, and they won't. They'll be like, nah, I'm going to stick with what dude said. But, yeah, it's tough, man. Excuses. Like where do you go with it when they come at you with excuses? Like I said, most of the people, it's not my job to fix them. I like to help people when I can, but I can't help people fix themselves. They got to set themselves up for success with that. And I can kind of point them in the right direction. I can kind of share some stuff that happened to me and some of the things that I went through that really helped me. Those are ways that I can offer some kind of assistance or help, or, maybe a little hope or inspiration or something, but it's on them.
Yeah.
And if they're throwing excuses at you, then, just catch them and stomp them down. Not them, but the excuses.
Yeah. So on the plus side of everything, so April asked me on my way over here if we're going to talk about her.
Oh.
So.
Yeah, let's talk about why she didn't start a tight end again. Oh, fantasy? Or you want to talk about? I don't want to talk about fantasy.
I'm not going to talk about fantasy.
Okay, fantasy football.
So I figured we could talk about wedding next year.
Oh, yeah.
So I figured, she asks me all the time what kind of wedding plans I want to have.
Look, we're running out of time.
That's what's up. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, we'll see you next week. Is we
No. So anyways, so she was like, I was like, I don't know. I guess you'll have to listen to the podcast and find out. So I'm thinking about maybe doing something small on the beach, next summer.
Okay. What beach?
I don't know yet. I gotta find one.
Do you have to pay?
I don't know. It depends on if we go to a park. We're just bashing a beach somewhere, like kind of take over one, like at a spot like up at Old Mission Point. You know how they got 2-3 miles of beach up there that you could just go up and use. You could just like stake out a spot of it.
Yeah. My friend got married at a beach here in Traverse City. I don't remember which one, though. It might have been out there. No, it seemed like it was a golf course or something. But it was a beach. I don't know. I'll have to ask him.
Yeah.
Give you some pointers. But yeah, so beach wedding, huh?
Beach wedding.
If it rains.
Rain or sun. Last time I got married, it rained too.
I think, aren't you supposed to immediately just call it off? No, probably not. There's people out there going, no, I got married in the rain, idiot. Like, we've been married 4 to 5 years.
Right. So I don't know.
It snowed on my wedding day because Jesus is a big fan of mine. He knows I like snow.
See? I love snow.
Yeah.
I'd love to have a winter wedding, like outside in the winter. Oh, it'd be awesome.
Yeah. Didn't you say I was going to be in the wedding?
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind. Marnie definitely would not be in the wedding.
I know April would hate it. April's cold all the time.
You should just see how long you can write it out. Like, hey, look, we're going to do a winter wedding outside.
And I think we should take a poll on whether or not April's dress should be tie-dyed.
I'm going to say no.
You're going to say no?
Do you think it should be?
I don't know. She wants it to be tie-dyed.
Oh, well, if she wants it to be, then hell yeah. I thought you just meant you were going to do it.
She asked me my personal opinion on it. And I haven't gave her an answer. I haven't given her an answer on any wedding plans at all.
But like, can I dress as a clown?
I really haven't. And so I told her she would have to listen to the podcast. So I made sure that what we talked about was all the way at the end of the podcast.
What if we all dressed up as wrestlers? Oh, yeah. I'll give the best man speech as Hulk Hogan. Listen up, brother.
That'd be funny.
All you little Justin maniacs out there that want to marry a woman. Oh, yeah. Oh, I think I just mixed Macho Man with Hulk.
Yeah, you did.
I wasn't even doing a Hulk, so I don't know what I'm doing. I do Coco Beware. I don't know what he does either.
That's funny.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah.
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
All right, well,
probably like 25, 30 people. Something small.
If we had a circus wedding. What if you had a circus? You ever been to a circus?
Yeah, once.
You should do that. Do a circus wedding. Or we could do a fantasy football draft party wedding. We just knock out the wedding before the fantasy football draft next year. She'd love that.
Oh. Yeah, you know what? I don't know why she doesn't pay attention to her fantasy.
What about a prison wedding? You got people in the jail, you know, right?
Ooh, that would be fun.
Like, hey, can we come in here real quick? What about a cemetery? People have weddings at the cemetery.
That'd be creepy.
I know. It'd be pretty badass.
Dress up like we're dead.
Where else could you where could you have a wedding that nobody else has ever had a wedding?
She really wants a beach wedding.
Yeah. Well, my mom said you want in one hand, you shit in the other, see which one fills up first.
Right.
It's gonna be the shit one.
Yeah.
Well, we'll think about it. Gun range. I'm sure that's been done many times.
I'm a felon.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's the irony in it. Well, let us know because I can't wait. But yeah, you got some time to plan. So
Thinking Old Mission Peninsula. Couple people. Because the beach is free. I'm thinking as much free as possible.
yeah, and keep it small that way you don't have to buy a bunch of people dinner. Like no reception. I wouldn't do a reception. I wouldn't. That's just me. What you can do is find out when someone else is having a wedding, and we can all just go to that reception. So like we'll see who's getting married that weekend. And I'm like, okay, kind of like Wedding Crashers, but we would actually know the people, I think.
Right.
Like, what if you spent like 6 months getting to know someone who's getting married just so you could go to their reception and claim it as your own? Like, you're over there with their cake, smashing cake in each other's faces, and they're like, wait, what is this?
Yeah, that would be pretty dope.
Doing the dance, throwing the bouquet. Like, you're doing everything that should be done at a receptionist if it's not yours.
Right.
That'd be awesome.
That would be. Yeah, I don't know what to do about a reception yet. I haven't thought that far ahead.
Well, save yourself some cash. We'll just find somebody that we know. It might not even be your wedding day, but you dress back up like it is. They do the daughter-father dance, and you guys do that too. And all right, it's time to get to the bouquet. And then there's April out there just with her own bouquet. Like, wait, what? I'm telling you, that'd be classic.
That would be fun.
Don't mind us. I'm there taking pictures as a photographer. No, get in front of the cake. Okay. Hilarious.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah. Thanks for stopping by, man. I do
Yeah, no
appreciate you
problem.
coming by and killing some time and being on the podcast. I do appreciate it.
Heck yeah.
Let us know about the wedding, bro.
Yeah, no problem. I will.
Thanks for listening to the 217 Recovery Podcast. Win a bunch of free shit from 217 Recovery. Go to the app or the website, 217recovery.com.